I know nothing else.
So we are, so you can look on my page, Jamie Pablo, if you want to share it on your page. The live is now streaming on my page.
Okay,
Hopefully. Let's double check to make sure. Yep, we are live. I can see Ngoma, Baba Ngoma, and Baba Alfred Adams. So, you want me to share it to your Facebook page, Baba Ngoma?
I'm saying what?
You want me to share the live to your Facebook page?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that right now. This way your fans can join in. I hope I can. Let's see here. Some of the settings are, I may not be able to. Okay, so I can't.
How long is the program?
Your segment is only about 40 minutes, but we usually go on for about hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
So from the beginning to start for your stuff is going to be about 45 minutes once you start.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's up to you if you want to hang out and
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it goes. Yeah. So it's called a V40. That's the plan.
Gotcha.
That's the plan. All right. So we got a couple of people, a couple of early birds. Welcome, welcome. All the folks joining us early. We're going to get started in about 5 to 10 minutes. So hang tight. Please share the live on your Facebook pages. And trying to get it on the Karna Facebook page. Get myself. All right, there we go. That is good enough.
Yeah.
It's a great day. I feel good. I know you guys feel good as well. So
I see Mr. Harold is here.
We're gonna have another. Mr. Harold is on.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, brother Harold.
Hey.
I was just talking your name, man.
No problem.
I was just telling Baba Ngoma that you were going to do a review of his book. So
yeah,
Baba Ngoma, meet brother Harold.
How you doing, brother?
Man, hey. I mean, I'm expecting your book today. You know, Amazon's supposed to deliver it today, so I'm excited about going through it.
Okay.
Tell him about the issues with Lulu, because he tried to buy it on Lulu. What happened?
I tried to get it on Lulu, and when I thought I was going to go through to the payment process, some rigmarole, man. And knowing I had Amazon, let me check to see if the brother's book is on Amazon. There it was, boom. Okay. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Oh, so brother Ngoma may want to check with Lulu just to make sure it's a little more seamless. You know, it's not as seamless as Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
Amazon rips you off, man. But
yeah,
when you buy the book on Lulu, I get about $6. When you buy it on Amazon, I get like $1.50, $1.75, something like that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And that's the reason why Amazon, apparently is so efficient. They got more resources.
Absolutely.
And then they take more.
So I need your help, guys. So Alfred, you're gonna remind me to record, correct?
Of course.
And
Can I remind you right now?
And the other thing, not right now, in a few minutes.
It just said it was recording, though. I guess that wasn't the
No, that's hold on. Did it say that?
I think so. I may have misread.
Hold on a second. Let me make sure.
I had to click on got it for sure.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let's make sure it's being recorded. I'm going to record now. All right. So here we go. You should have a notice
Okay.
there. So we are being
Brother Alfred,
recorded.
you can play some music for us.
Well,
Yeah, he's got the live. He's got the intro for us. But you can
got
entertain. You can entertain as well. Some impromptu entertainment.
I got the intro, but I was telling you guys I had some surgery on my hand because I had a trigger finger. So this was about a week and a half ago. So when I hold chords, I could feel, that index finger.
Uh-huh.
But I'm getting there. But I'm going to use a track for the intro. I'm just going to strum along with my guitar, but I have a track that I sing to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me know if you guys can hear my sound for the theme song.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you hear that?
Yes.
Okay.
Creolese, please.
That's very good.
Creolese gone.
All right. So that's good. So without any further ado, I see we've got a few early birds on the Facebook Live. So I want to welcome them to the Karna, and we're going to get this show started in about a minute. Double check here. If you're watching the live on Facebook, I encourage you to share it to your Facebook pages so we can get all of our family and friends to join in to what's going to be an awesome show. Baba Ngoma is here. He, like me, is an early bird, I was telling him that in my old company, Pfizer, there were a lot of military people there. And my manager used to tell me, if you're 10 minutes early, you're late.
That's corporate America in general, man.
Absolutely.
So were you able to get to Manez de Groy?
Yes, I did. I invited him to come on, just like I did Brother Harold. Brother Harold complied. I'm happy to have you here, Brother Harold. We hope to have you on as a featured guest in the future, Brother Harold. So we can showcase your brilliant work as well.
Yeah, I tried to get Stanwyck to come on, but he said he had some deadlines he was working on. Okay. But he's good for February 17th.
Oh, good. Perfect. Then I've got a young lady from Myconi, Yonette McPherson, who's a poet, spoken word artist. She's going to be on February 3rd, the next show. So I'm excited to share that during the show in the announcement section. All right. So let's get this show started. We've got about 4 people on the live right now. Hopefully we can get some more with more shares. I encourage you all to share it. If you're watching it, share it now. We're getting ready to start. Brother Christopher Matthias, Professor, is on. Marcus Gordon is on. Welcome to the Karna. Sindrine, she's been with the Korner for a long time. Welcome, Sister Sindrine, all the way from Guyana. All right, wonderful.
She's calling from on the ground.
Yes.
She's checking in from the. Oh wow!
Checking in from the mud.
That's
so we got a global audience. The show. This is our 3rd year, and I'm happy to say that we are slowly, steadily building our fan base. So, and I encourage you all to visit lulu.com or amazon.com and support Brother Ngoma's book, which is titled I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. And I'm going to share the link in his the link to the book on Lulu, which is his preferred platform for purchases. I'm going to share that in the live so you can support Brother Ngoma. And I'm telling you, I'm reading this book right now, and not to toot Brother Ngoma's horn, it's a history lesson. Lessons in history, culture, war, sexism, you name it. All those issues are there. Civil rights, it's all there. So this is going to be definitely a worthy addition to your coffee table.
Are you gonna narrate it too, Brother Ngoma?
Oh yeah, he's got 2 readings. If you look at the the program, the rundown.
No, I mean
It's going to be narrated.
an audio version. I'm thinking about an audio version.
Okay,
of
audio
it.
book. Okay, go ahead, brother Ngoma. You can
I
answer.
don't know if I'm going to really do an audio book. These poems go back, some of them 30, 40 years.
Got you.
And I've got about 6 CDs, and a lot of the poems that are in the book are on the
Or the
CD.
CDs, yeah.
So I
So
don't know if I'm gonna
duplication, yeah.
do it again.
All right, so we're going to get the show started now. It's 12:09, and we're going to start with our theme song for the Karna.
Creolese, please. Creolese gone global. Creolese not local anymore. When I meet up with my people, when I hear them in the streets, using big words with melody like Bradaps and Pagali, I just smile inside and shake my head with pride, knowing that no matter where me they're worldwide, me can never hide from the culture. Is how we ting this, is how we ting this. Ta Creolese, please.
All right. So that's our theme song, which means that we're ready to start show number 45 on the Karna. It's a very special V40 mic drop edition of the Karna. And our featured guest is here, Brother Ngoma Hill. Say hi to the Karna fans, Brother Ngoma.
What's up, Karna fans?
What's up? What's up? We've got
Yeah.
Brother Alfred Adams here, our resident acoustic musical storyteller. Alfred, say hi to the fans.
Greetings, fans. Greetings and welcome to the Karna.
And on our panel, we've got Brother Harold Bascom, who is an artist, a writer. He's a multi-talented creative who lives in, where do you live, Brother Harold?
Loganville, Georgia.
Loganville, Georgia.
You guys are neighbors.
Originally from where, Brother Harold?
I was born in Virginia, New John. There's the east coast of the west bank of the Krew River. But I grew
Right.
up in Linden, New Road,
Okay.
Bridge, Georgetown, nomadic.
Nomadic. All right. So that's beautiful. It's a pleasure having you on the panel. It's going to be a great show. Of course, our show is dedicated to celebrating global Creole culture and talent through music, poetry, storytelling, and edutainment. And we've got an edutaining guest today. He's going to be formally introduced, but let me tell you, he is the poet your professor warned you about, right, Brother Ngoma?
Hey.
To use his own words, right? So, as we always do, we want to give thanks to the great creator and our ancestors, because without them, we wouldn't be here. They went through a lot so that we could be here. So we always make sure we give them thanks. I also want to thank the fans who have joined us on Facebook Live. I see my sister Maggie Harris is here. Welcome, welcome. She's on the Facebook Live. Sister Maggie is a poet as well, and she was our featured guest on show number 44, which is the first show of the year. So I'm happy to have her on to listen and experience Brother Ngoma's poetry as well. So let's move on to the next segment of the program. Let me just share that page and we can go there.
I got words.
So this segment is sponsored by Pablo Speaks, my new podcast, where words influence thoughts, influence actions.
Every word
airs every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Spotify
like bread.
and other platforms. So I encourage you to join me tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever your podcasts are aired, and you can get
words to tell a story. Words to
sample
make a
of my
song,
next episode.
words to write poetry, words to live on.
That's Pablo Speaks, airing Sundays,
I got words.
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, etc.
Brother Jamie.
Yes, sir.
So I actually spaced on being responsible for reading
Foxes have fur. Readers need words that grab and
Now you're not
Baba Ngoma's
up to
story.
you
No,
yet. You're not up to you yet.
I know, but I was wondering if you can push me that link again.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you.
Go to thekarna.org. Thekarna.org.
I have this thing set on where I'm going to play my music from, and I didn't want to.
Okay.
So if you can, if possible.
Yeah. I will. I'll share it on the screen and you can read it.
Give me the beat, make it sweet.
Do it again.
From the bass
Let me
line
send
to
the
the
link. Hold on.
drums.
Oh.
Let the guitar
Oh,
strum
yeah, I got it.
and hum. Let the keyboard swing and ring. Tapping eardrums, tugging heartstrings, sharing wisdom, moving mountains.
All right. So we got the gist of that. And welcome to show number 45. Here is the rundown. And this is brought to you, of course, by Pablo Speaks. We've got a really, really jam-packed show for you today. We kick things off with the promos, which will be followed by a musical intro by Brother Alfred Adams. I call him Brother Al to the A, followed by our opening Creole proverb. It's a Creole Karna show, so we got to have a Creole proverb on every show. And then we'll have an official or formal artist intro by Brother Alfred, followed by 5 drops from our featured guests, Baba Ngoma, the poet your professor warned you about. After each poem, which will be performed live by Brother Ngoma, who's also a musician, he's a multi-instrumentalist. So he plays several instruments. All right. And so we're going to get a sample of some of those instruments today on the Karna. After each drop, we'll have a Q&A discussion in which our crew members and members of the panel can chat about, ask Brother Ngoma questions about the song, etc. We wrap things up with a general Q&A discussion and a promo of Brother Ngoma's events, books, etc. That will be followed by sponsored promos of events happening in the diaspora. The theme for today's pro show is service. Then we'll have the closing remarks, announcements, and a musical outro by Brother Alfred Adams. And if you're still around, we'll have a featured music video. All right, so that's the plan. So without any further ado, Brother Al, are you ready for the musical intro?
I think I am. Can you hear the music, sir? You can?
Yes, I can.
Is it a good volume? Is it a good level?
Absolutely. It's good.
I think I'm gonna lay me down. I think I'm gonna quiet my mind. And I'm gonna listen for my inspiration. I think I'm gonna lay me down. I think I'm gonna quiet my mind. And I'm gonna listen for my inspiration. Shooby-dooby-doo, to and beyond. The extent we seek acceptance from prevailing cultures. My brothers and my sisters, we must seek the same acceptance from that reality within which inferiority complexes never exist.
was a time far ago they never existed. Well, oh well, and to and beyond, the extent of time and money spent in a lifelong hope. Let's fight against genetics. We must rediscover, fix the eye of the beholder, and in time our beauty will reveal. So when there was a time far ago, to and beyond, to and beyond. There was a time far ago, to and beyond. Ooh, hey.
Shay.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you, Brother Al to the A.
Thank you. Thank you.
Another compelling musical intro. A very special one for Brother Ngoma, because I noticed some new elements here that you introduced, Brother Alfred.
What's that?
Was that a special tribute for Brother Ngoma? Some of the vocal backup tracks and all of that, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you know.
That's nice. I like that. That was lovely. All right, so thank you, Brother Al. And next on the program will be the opening Creole proverb. And Brother Al, you can check your WhatsApp. I sent you the link.
I appreciate that.
Bio. And after the Creole proverb, Brother Al will formally introduce our featured guest, multi-instrumentalist, poet, author, singer, songwriter. He does it all. He wears many hats, and we're honored to have him on the show. I want to give a shout out to Mo Seeger. Mo Seeger is a poet from Pittsburgh who lives in Paris. And Mo is the reason why Ngoma is here, because I met Ngoma on Mo's poetry open mic on Zoom during the pandemic. So I want to thank Mo. He's supposed to be on the show as well. I want to thank Mo for making that connection. So of course, let's get into the next segment. I want to welcome all the fans joining us right now on Facebook Live. Welcome, welcome. We're going to go into the Creole proverb segment of the show, which is right here. The opening Creole proverb for today's show, number 45, is hand wash hand, make hand come clean. And I'm going to call on Brother Harold Bascom, who I know is one of our cultural ambassadors and gatekeepers of the culture, to break that down for our fans. What does hand wash hand, make hand come clean mean, Brother Harold?
When we work together, we get things done. It's a cooperative kind of thing, you know.
Yes.
Barnum would have loved that, bro.
Yes. Absolutely. So that's what it means. So for Brother Ngoma, in Guyana, we've got, just like you have in America, a broken form of English. It's Guyanese, it's American Creole. We have Guyanese Creole. And so it's an inheritance from our ancestors, because they came here speaking different tribal languages. Then they were given the English language, and they kind of figure out how to kind of combine all those things.
Yeah, that's how we get nation language.
Pardon me?
We call it nation language.
Nation language. That's what's up. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about here. So today's proverb, explained or interpreted by Brother Harold Bascom, is hand wash hand, make hand come clean. It's all about cooperative economics, which in Swahili, there's a term for that, right? Cooperative economics. What's that word? I think it's one of the Kwanzaa word, the second day of Kwanzaa. Ujuma. There you go. Ujuma. Got it. Ujuma. Ujoma.
No.
Ujoma.
AMA.
AMA. Okay. Gotcha. So that's what it's all about. It's about cooperating. All right. So having said that, we're going to go into the official. Are you ready, Brother Al?
I think I am.
The bio,
I spaced on this task, and there are lots of new words here
No
to me.
problem.
So
All right. So you've got the bio
yes,
for.
I do. I do have it here. So
Without any further ado, Brother Al, please introduce our featured
sure,
guest.
sure, Brother Ngoma Hill. Yes. So he was born in Alexandria, raised in Richmond, Virginia. Ngoma is a performance poet, a multi-instrumentalist, singer-songwriter, activist, and paradigm shifter who, for over 50 years, has used culture as a tool to raise socio-political and spiritual consciousness through work that encourages critical thought. A former member of the Amiri Baraka's The Spirit House Movers and Players and the contemporary freedom song duo Serious Business, Ngoma weaves poetry and song, raising contradictions, seeking solutions, and a path to a just and peaceful world. Ngoma was the Prop Siam winner of the 1997 National Poetry Slam competition in Middletown, Connecticut, and has been published in African Voices magazine, Longshot Anthology, The Underwood Review, Signifying Harlem Review, Bum Rush the Page Deaf Poetry Jam Anthology, Poems on the Road to Peace, Volumes 1, 2, and 3, Yale Press, Let Loose on the World, Amiri Baraka at 75, New Rain Blind Beggar Press, 35th anniversary issue, and Third World Press. Yes.
Right.
Quite
That's a
a few
mouthful.
accomplishments here. It is. It is.
Absolutely.
He was featured in the PBS spoken word documentary, The Afro Poets, with Allen Ginsberg.
Nice.
Ngoma was selected as the Beat Poet Laureate of New York for 2017 by the National Beat Poetry Foundation and the New Beat Poet Laureate in 2021. Laureate. Yeah, am I pronouncing that correctly? Laureate.
Do your
Yeah,
best. You
Laureate.
Okay.
good.
I just went to Central, I didn't make it through.
QC.
Ngoma has curated and hosted the Poetry Slam at the Martin Luther King Family Festival of Social and Environmental Justice at the Yale Peabody Museum since 1995. He was also selected to participate in the 2009 Badil Shah. Could you say that for me, brother?
Badalisha.
Thank you.
Badalisha.
Thank you. In the 2009 Badalisha Poetry Exchange in Cape Town, South Africa. In December of 2011, he was initiated as priest of Obatala. Say it for me, brother.
Obatala.
Obatala.
There you go.
Priest of Obatala in Ibadan.
Ibadan.
Ibadan, right?
Yep.
You got it.
Nigeria. In June of 2013, he was initiated as priest of Ifa.
Ifa.
Ifa. I knew I was going to clobber some of these words. They call him Dr. Rock-A-Fiddle, the Godfather of spoken word, the poet your professor warned you about. Ladies and gentlemen, banners and binnies, please join me in welcoming Baba Ngoma Hill as today's featured V40 artist on Karna.
Thank you, Brother Al.
Yeah.
You did a bang up job.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You did a bang up job.
I appreciate that.
I couldn't have done it any better.
Some words were definitely clobbered,
It's all
but
good. All right. So once again, thank you, Brother Al, and welcome to our fans joining us. We're about to get into the meat of the show right now. The first drop that will be performed by Brother Ngoma is Mic Check. All right. So before we get into the actual performance, I'd like Brother Ngoma to I have a question for you while you're getting ready. Beat poet, for the fans who've never heard the term, what does being a beat poet mean?
That's a good question. There was something called the Beat Generation, like in the
Right.
70s and whatnot. And it's kind of hard for me to explain to you. I had a little difficulty with it.
No problem. Take your time. That's why I give you some time to talk while you prepare, you know, you can multitask.
So that's what that was about.
That was about giving you some time to prepare while you talk.
I mean, when I hear the term beat poet, I think of actually I don't think of anything. So go ahead, bro.
There was something called the Beat Generation,
Right.
and that was like maybe like in the in the 60s.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who are some of the poets that were around in that time?
like Ginsberg.
Okay. Ferlinghetti, Jack
Baraka was
Kerouac.
part of that, although I don't know whether he want to claim it.
Okay.
Because it was mostly white folk.
Yeah. That's Amiri Baraka. Was he the only black poet in the group?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Gotcha. No problem. Yeah, because I have followed the beat poets. You know, I admire work by Howl, by Brother Ginsberg. And Jack Kerouac is another famous beat poet who performed to jazz back in the day. Brother Harold, while Brother Ngoma is getting ready, does beat poetry mean anything to you? The beat poet generation?
Yeah, I remember Allen Ginsberg. I read a lot of his work.
Yeah.
As I'm listening, I'm wondering at what point Baraka fitted in, because to me, Ginsberg and those white guys were more into sort of liberal hippie kind of stuff. So I am curious. I didn't know that Baraka was part of quote unquote beat. So I'm learning.
As Ngoma said, maybe Baraka didn't know himself.
I don't even know if he considered himself a beat poet, you know?
Right. Okay, so are you ready, Brother Ngoma?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so our first drop for today from Brother Ngoma Hill, our featured guest, is Mic Check, which is one of his original poems she's going to perform to his music. Absolutely. So go right ahead.
Mic check. Mic check. This is a test. The state of disunion is homeless and has no address. This is a test. Wrapped in a tattered, blood-splattered banner, Fat Sam sleeps on park benches, begs spare change from the Japanese embassy, payback for Hiroshima. The Wall Street yo-yo defies balance. Budget won't budge, eviction papers served, angry landlords demand cash deposits before postponement, but no postponement of poverty is granted. Only in God we trust. Stamped on a gold bullion, or maybe a Krugerrand might do, but plastic melts down and jams up at ATM machines, and the ashes at the token booth is only a token of the sickness. It's 12:46 a.m. and this poem interrupts the night, demanding to be written. Cause bosses like bowling balls throw strikes against unions, and 30 pieces of silver won't save your soul. Willie lynched us so bad that violence doesn't shock us anymore. Not even death lasts forever, as a daily diet is elusive to the many. All the factories are closed, nothing's made here anymore. No one works, all the unions busted. Everyone's gone fishing, all the fish are dead. Even nuns have dildos, and confessional chambers are not safe for your young sons. The cross is a sword used by conquerors, stuck in the heart of the earth. The richest country in the world is morally bankrupt. The president's a joke. Sounds like an emergency to me. Some take it as a joke or hoax to keep the peace at least, or at least to keep the peace. But I really need to know, Are you listening? And can we all get to the same page in this book of life? Mic check, mic check. This is a test. This is a test. The state of disunion is homeless and has no address. This is a test. Is this thing on?
It is on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Badulia,
All right,
dulia,
all right.
did da 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 da
Yeah.
da. You
That
make me
was
wanna sing.
yeah. That was dope. That was dope. To use a Gen X descriptor. Brother Ngoma. Now I see why you're the poet my professor warned me about. All right. You spoke about the nuns having dildos. Yeah. The president is morally bankrupt. All right. The state of this union is homeless. It has no address. Those are some
Could
powerful.
you repeat that line? Payback for Hiroshima. What preceded that?
I don't
Something
know.
about begging for.
I can't remember like a line just before something.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mic
You got to
check.
write it down, Alfred.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. It's okay.
You see me?
It's
Look, I
not
got my notepad. I take a
good.
note.
Good.
All right.
Yeah,
So you don't put them on the spot.
it's not that crucial. I just wanted to.
No problem.
Yeah.
But
Not a
yeah.
big deal.
So let's talk about the inspiration for that piece. Like what's your main premise in that piece, Brother Ngoma?
I don't know if that's the main premise. I try to use a lot of stuff and show how they're all connected.
Okay.
So I
Gotcha.
might not be dealing with
Yeah.
just one specific thing. I'm just
Yeah, I got you. It's like a mic check. You're just doing different things.
and
You're
all just
dropping.
different thing. You can't see the mic, but at the end of the poem, I tap the mic and I say, "Is this thing on?"
I heard
Yeah.
you say that, but I didn't see.
understand
I didn't see the
See the
tap.
mic.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's
So I was
powerful.
busy answering. I thought you were asking us.
So, Brother Harold, how did that poem hit you?
I really like the blues type intro, the whole composition, the
Yes.
beautiful.
Mhm.
And as I listened, even though the content is more or less North American social consciousness, there's a lot for us. When I say us, Guyanese creatives, poets, to learn from. And as I listened to the brother, I was thinking also of this Russian playwright, Maxim Gorky. And
Mhm.
I would say that having read Maxim Gorky writing about the poor Russian peasants, it hit me in a way that I said, wait, Harold, this man writing about the Russian peasants. Why can't you write about the Guyanese locals? And believe it or not, that was the inspiration for me to become a grassroots playwright, to write all those
Nice.
things I came up with in Georgetown. So this brother's work, I think, can springboard many of us who listened. We can do the same. We can graft our own social issues into poetry and become relevant. Thank you, my brother. Good work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was on point there.
That was
Harold.
well said, man. I'm happy to have you on the panel. That was a very thoughtful and insightful contribution. So thank you for sharing that, my brother. And we're joined today by another member of the Karna crew, Brother Vinny Prasad. Welcome to the Karna.
Morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Yes, so Baba Ngoma meet Vinny Prasad, who's another member of my Karna crew. He's a little
Pleased
late.
to meet
but-
you.
Nice meeting you, brother.
All right. So
Same here, same here.
All right. So any other observations or questions for Brother Ngoma before we move on to drop number 2? Going once. All right. Any other thing you wanted to say about that piece, Brother Ngoma?
Not really. That was just the introduction.
That was the intro. I
Yeah.
got you. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we be getting into it now. Okay.
I try to
The
write
next-
stuff. I try to write stuff that people can understand so I don't have to explain it to them.
There you go.
And you did that. You did that very well. To me, it reminded me of like what we call a cook-up rice. of all the issues,
Okay.
all boiled into one pot, and you just like thing.
It would
He's showing
be
up.
a cook-up rice would be similar to like a jambalaya. You
Yeah.
got everything in there.
And so Brother Harold is telling us that the same thing that Brother Ngoma did. We need to look beyond what cook-up rice is in Guyana and put together something very similar. And I hear you, sir. I try to do that a little bit, but not in the manner that Brother Ngoma did it, and that was
Yeah.
that was
Wonderful.
pretty nice and effective. Did you hear the Finney? Were you able to hear it?
Vinny, you're on mute.
What's that?
Brother Vinny, you're muted. Oh, there you go.
I didn't hear. I only heard when I logged in. That's all I heard.
Okay,
from there.
cool.
Yeah, I was listening before.
So just one point, I see our original crew member, Dion Jones, is on. She's not on video. She never goes on video. So it's hard to really pick up whether she's here. I have to look in the background
She's
at
shy.
the guest list. So she just sent the message that I dahi, y'all ain't talking about me. So, Brother Ngoma,
Don't worry. It's Saturday and I'm around the house working, so I'm walking with my phone around, but I'm still here.
you always treat us like that, man. You
Miss
can
Dion.
carve out a little 2 minutes to dress up and show your beautiful face.
You know what? I will definitely do that on the next one.
That's how Miss Dion show love. That's how she show love.
Well, Sister Ngoma, Sister Dion, please say hello to Brother Ngoma.
Hello,
Our
Brother
featured guest.
Ngoma.
Hello,
I am
sister. How
very
you
new.
doing? All
I'm
right.
very new to this genre, but I was getting the slam poetry vibe, but then I'm sitting here thinking this is something totally different. I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I'm learning about what beat poetry is.
Absolutely. That's what's up. All right. So without any further ado, we're going to go into the second track or second drop, as we call it on the V40 MIC Drop from Brother Ngoma, which is titled You Ain't Paid Your Dues. So Brother Ngoma.
I'm going to play this instrument here. I guess you can see it. This is a 3-string cigar box guitar.
Wow.
When Africans came to the United States and whatnot, they couldn't bring their instruments and whatnot, so they made instruments. And one of the instruments that they made was a 3-string guitar. Now this one here has got a pickup and stuff on it, but which of course we didn't have back in the day.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd point that out.
And what would they use as the cigar box? What would they use in the
Cigar
beginning?
box.
A cigar box?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't come on the Mayflower, came on the good ship Jesus. I'm a star Matilda, Harrietta Marie, chain bound and shackled, from Gory till the mean and castle, cotton and Manila, sugar and tobacco. You ain't paid your dues. You ain't paid your dues. You ain't paid your dues to sing my blues, to sing my blues. Stopped on Ebo Landing, try to walk on water. I'm a runaway, I'm a renegade, I'm a son of a dusty daughter. You ain't paid your dues. You ain't paid your dues. You ain't paid your dues to sing my blues, to sing my blues. Did Mark Veazey in Charleston, Nanny of the Maroons, Nat Turner and John Brown, Harriet Tubman, Freedom Bound. You ain't paid your dues. You ain't paid your dues. You ain't paid your dues to sing my blues, to sing my blues. Work from sun up to sundown. Black babies sold by the pound. Ancestors buried in hallowed ground. You ain't paid your dues. Whole world seemed like a big plantation. I'm just trying to get my reparations, 'cause you ain't paid your dues. You ain't paid your dues. You ain't paid your dues to sing my blues, to sing my blues. Didn't come on the Mayflower, came on the good ship Jesus. I'm a star flotilla, Harriet Marie, chain bound and shackled, from Gory till Amina Castle, copper and Manila, cotton and tobacco. You ain't paid your dues. You ain't paid your dues. You ain't paid your dues to sing my blues, to sing my blues. Yeah.
Right. That's what's up. Yeah. Another
gotta-
gem, man. So we
You
got
gotta
another
pay up, man.
another element of Brother Ngoma's, Baba Ngoma's talent. He's a multi-instrumentalist, and as you can see, he's already played 3 instruments, and or 2, I should say, and we got a taste of the 3-string cigar box guitar. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on this piece? Starting with you, Brother Harold.
Yeah, it's a deep piece of blues, but the thing that really has me thinking is the refrain. You ain't paid your dues to sing my blues. No. What does it constitute paying one's dues? No, I shouldn't say one's dues. This song seemed directed to guys like Clapton, a lot of these white guys who are now big blues musicians, making the money, making the name, and they haven't paid their dues, I wonder.
Exactly.
So
I like
I
that.
wonder what constitutes them paying their dues, my brother. Talk to me.
Well, that's a real good question, but I'm gonna put it to you like this: if you go to a blues concert these days, especially if people are playing what they call bluegrass,
Mm.
it's all white people doing it, but black people created bluegrass. That's not a white person's music. So I'm just saying, you ain't paid the dues to be singing this. It's simple as that. But a lot of people, well, I think you get it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a statement made. You ain't pay your dues. I am asking, what constitutes them paying their dues? What is it these guys
Well,
got to do?
I'd like to jump
Well,
in there and say something on that. I mean, the clearly, the experience of people of African descent and what they went through has a lot to do with what we heard in the blues music, their experiences, right? And so we play the blues music, and we speak about our trials and tribulations, and it comes out in the music. Now, I too thought about, like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Clapton, and all these guys who learned from the blues players in the United States of America. They picked up that stuff, and they started playing the blues, and they started singing stories that were theirs. But I think what Brother Ngoma is saying, you playing the music, but you don't you didn't have the
Live the
experience
life.
behind it.
You didn't live that.
You didn't live it, you know.
I think that's profound. It shows the power of music and storytelling, including blues and poetry, of really capturing those insights and those thoughts. It would take several paragraphs to like write about, explain what we were just talking about. But just by saying you ain't pay your dues to sing my blues.
Yeah, and I think it's a broad statement. Seems to be pointed at musicians, but I think it's more of a general. It's a more of a general statement. You know,
Yeah,
you're speaking about reparations, you're speaking about all these things.
Brother Vinny, go ahead.
But
So-
I
Hold
still
on,
have
hold
a
on.
point I want to make.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, Brother Bascom. Brother Harold, let Vinny
So-
had his hand up. Yeah.
Thank you,
I'll come back
Pablo.
to
So
you.
what
Yeah.
I get out of the music is that it's not a demand for dues to be paid. It's a statement about cultural appropriation.
That's it.
Yep,
That's
I
exactly.
agree.
Yeah, it is that.
All right,
It
go
is
ahead, Brother Harold.
All I am asking is simply this. Let us suppose I am Clapton and I come to the brother and say, okay, brother, I'm guilty. I didn't pay my dues. Talk to me. What should I do to make you feel okay and stop singing that song?
May I respond? May I respond? I'm sorry, Baba Ngoma. May I respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Brother
So
Vinny.
I think so blues. I love blues music, by the way. Just to clarify, I love blues music. Blues comes from the soul, and the soul that music comes from is a tormented soul. Now, the people who are appropriating the music, they don't have that tormented soul. So they can never pay the dues for that music. Never.
So I hear, yeah,
All right.
I hear Brother
hold on,
Bascom's
Alfred.
question.
Alfred, let Brother Ngoma respond now. And
Yeah,
then we
they
get
can't
back to
do
you.
it.
Yeah.
They can't do it.
Yeah, they can. It's impossible. So to answer Brother Bascom's question, his burning question, because he's not going to relax until that question is answered. You came to me as Eric
Captain.
and said, okay, I understand. I didn't go through what you went through, and I hear you playing this music and singing this stuff. I like what I hear. So what am I supposed to do? I'm going to say to him, continue to play the music, but pay attention to what I just said, and you know, and let that come out in your music. You know, that's how I would respond to that. But continue to play the music.
Well, they can also give credit to where the music came from.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
In fact, on the Facebook feed, Sister Lydia Elizabeth, who is one of our poets in Brooklyn, New York, thanks for joining us. She calls it, just like Brother Vinny said, cultural appropriation.
Mhm.
All right. So give credit if you're going to do it, or sing your own blues. Sing about your own, you know, your torment that you went through culturally.
And I
That's
think they
unique to
do
you.
that. I think they do that, but it's just the whole idea of using the blues as the platform for your stuff that you went through
Yeah.
is what the appropriation is, you know, because music, I think the thing that, to me, music is something that, you know, all humans, regardless of whether you're a colonizer or you're a slave, music is something that people love, and when they hear it, they're going to want to play it. Now, should the criteria be that you didn't go through what I go through, so you can't play this music? We can't stop people from loving music and playing it, but we can make sure they understand this is how we're perceiving what you're doing. You know, and we would like for you to make sure you give credit, and maybe you sing about, you know, about your experience in loving the blues and what it's truly about, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a powerful piece, and the beauty of poetry and songs and blues and jazz, etc., is that it gives us this space to really think and have conversations and share our insight as to how we interpreted the song. And
Yeah.
interpretations are going to vary. Brother Harold, I'm going to come back to you to give you a chance to finish your thoughts.
I'm good, my
You're
brother.
good. Okay. All right. No problem. So we're going to move on. to song number 3 or track number 3. We call it a drop on the Pablo on the Creole Karna. And number 3 is going to be this poem is free. This poem is free, which is also available. You can watch it on YouTube. Baba Ngoma. It's available also. It streams on Apple Music, wherever you get your digital music from. You can find This Poem is Free by Brother Ngoma Hill. So, Baba Ngoma, are you ready? This poem is free.
This poem is free. This poem is free, although you may have paid to hear me read it. This poem is sovereign. It has no birth certificate. It doesn't give a damn that it has no form. This poem wasn't written for you. It wrote itself. This poem has no 3-minute rule. It wasn't written for the slam. It doesn't give a damn about the score. This poem doesn't care that it is political and this is an erotic reading. This poem refuses to be porn on paper. This poem doesn't care about your sex life unless you're taking it to bed. This poem has a complicated relationship with its 9 to 5. This poem doesn't care about Jesus. This poem wants to know why you turned your back to your ancestors to follow your oppressor's religion. This poem doesn't care if it pisses you off. It prides itself in controversy. This poem thinks you should turn on that idiot box and read a book. This poem doesn't care about Caden, William, Bill, and Hillary, Michelle, and Barack, or Ben and fucking Jerry, as far as that matters. This poem doesn't care about who you marry. Once the knot is tied, it's your damn problem, deal with it. This poem does not care that it makes use of profanity. This poem thinks there's nothing more profane than poverty and wants to get paid. This poem is horny and wants to get laid. This poem is for adults only and not for your kids. This poem has arthritis and wants to move to Cali for that medicinal weed. This is not the poem written by Muta Baruka, and it won't go on and on and on and on and on and on in your mind. What happens in this poem stays in this poem. This poem is a bad mother, yo. This poem is free. This poem is free. This poem is free.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Love it.
Nice,
Love
nice,
it, sir.
nice. Lovely, lovely. This poem is free. What was your who are you directing this poem at particularly? You said it's for adults, correct?
Yeah, well, you know, it's for adults only. I'm talking about weed. I'm talking about sex. You know. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the poem wants to know why you turn your back on your ancestors.
You're right.
And embrace, the enslavers' religion. So I think that's a powerful point. How important is that point to you in your spiritual journey? So I'm sure, like most of us, you were raised in a Christian home, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about your upbringing and how that, where do you stand? What was your journey to where you are today as Baba Ngoma?
Oh man. When I was in Vietnam, my friends used to send me books. And one of the books that they sent me was The Black Jacobins by Dr. C.L.R. James.
Mm.
And I don't know if you read that book, but what The Black Jacobins is about It's about the Haitian Revolution. And when he talked about the Haitian Revolution, he was saying that the Haitians, what they did was they invoked Ogun. So when I found that out, I said, "Oh, that's really interesting." So people were walking around with crosses and stuff around their neck and whatnot. But I wrote on the band to my helmet, "Ogun Pharrell be with me."
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that it was. I went through a whole year as an infantryman, and the only thing that happened to me was I got a little bamboo scratch on my arm. So I attributed my survival to Ogun. Okay.
Yes. I see. I did some research in Ogun because I saw that in the poem, one of the poems in your book, that you did inscribe that Ogun on your helmet.
Right.
And Ogun is the god of war and iron. Ogun is also synonymous with justice.
Exactly.
Right? And it's a guardian divinity. So you were guarded. That's all you had was a bamboo scratch.
Yep.
Wow.
That was it.
Hey, let me write Ogun on my thing.
Oh, but let me tell you the whole story.
Yes.
It was a brother that was the medic, and he used to write up excuses for people to go into base camp and just to rest and whatnot. So he had written me up things so I could go into the base camp and just chill. While I was there, the guy who was the clerk for the top sergeant went on his R&R, and top said, "I need somebody that can type." So I said, "Yeah, I can type." So he made me the clerk for a short period of time.
Okay.
During that time, my company got hit, and half of the company got wiped out. Okay?
Wow.
Wow.
So I attributed my
That's a goon.
to Ogun.
Yes.
Now, as we know, especially like in the 60s, African religions weren't really being, you couldn't really find out about it. It was really hard to find out what I was talking about. So it took me a while to go through changes and whatnot to find somebody that would introduce me to the culture and all like that. And finally I did. And,
Yeah.
It sounded like Ogun start even before you went to Vietnam when you were learning to type.
Yeah.
because it was watching over you from since then. So
okay.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. So my brother, since you are a Vietnam vet, and the theme for today's show is service, and on the rehearsal we talked about service and what it meant to you. And in one of your poems, I quoted that you said you were drafted, you didn't volunteer.
Right.
So many of the young men and women who served in Vietnam, most of them were drafted.
I don't know if most of them were, but
Many were, not most.
a lot of them were.
Many of them.
Yeah,
Okay,
many
a lot
of
of them were. Okay. Many of them were. And so speak to, because when we think of service and we think of the branding of military service as be all you can be, speak about how you felt as a 21-year-old and why did you not protest as Muhammad Ali did?
I didn't protest like Muhammad Ali did because a lot of my relatives were vets.
Okay.
And because my mother was a government worker, and it would have been, and if I had tried to duck the draft, it would have been an embarrassment to them.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Makes absolute sense.
sense.
I didn't come up with money or nothing. Some people went to Canada or something, but I couldn't get across the street.
Yeah. Muhammad Ali was the heavyweight champion at the time, so
Yeah.
he had that
So I went
power.
I did what I had to do.
Right.
Then on the other hand, I resisted while I was there. There's a thing on YouTube. It's called Sir, No Sir. Check that out, Sir.
Okay.
No, Sir.
Sir, no, sir. I'll write that
Video
down.
that shows you about the resistance of GIs while they were in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So give us a little insight, because most of us have not been to war, So how has being in a war influenced your perspective on war itself? Are you of the nonviolent side of things like Dr. Martin Luther King, or are you somewhere else? Where are you as far as war is concerned and violence?
Hmm. I'm against war.
Okay.
That's what you mean. You know, I don't think people should have to go through that. You know, they should
Okay.
be able to settle their differences some other kind of way besides killing each other.
I hear you. Right. And how was that war? How did that war affect you? Because you seem to be normal, if I should say, but I'm sure there's other things going on. Right? How were you affected at that time, and how did you get over, or are you still going through? You know, you never get over
PSD.
it.
I don't know if you ever really get over it.
Okay.
You know, you reach a point where you can live with it.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of GIs, man, are really in really bad shape. You know, a lot of them are
Yeah.
junkies. You know, because drugs were real prevalent.
Absolutely.
Heroin, not while I was there, but right after I left, heroin became a big deal,
Yeah.
and people were doing heroin. Now, while I was there, we were just like smoking weed, you know, smoking a lot.
Cambodian red. Talk about Cambodian red.
Tell you about Cambodian Red.
Yeah.
It's really good weed.
Oh, yeah, you reference Cambodian red quite a bit in your book.
Yeah.
So I assume it was really good. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's
I
up.
mean, I would imagine the horrors that were you needed something to
Yeah.
some kind of an escape, you know.
And part of the show we honor our ancestors, right? And I know that you lost some of your friends and colleagues there in war, and you mentioned one soldier whose name was Shorty. And Shorty used to sing, you know, the
There you
Otis
go.
Redding songs. Was that Shorty?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So
Carry a
tell us,
guitar.
is Shorty still with us, or was he?
I don't know.
Okay, got you.
Interestingly, when I left Vietnam, one of the things that was going on was they were slowing things up a bit. So I got out of Vietnam earlier. I got out of the army like about a month, 2 months earlier than I was supposed to.
Okay.
And I didn't know that it was going to happen. All of a sudden, they say, okay, you know, we're sending you home. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. All right, all right.
But what
Now,
happened was it was so sudden, I didn't get a chance to collect guys' information or whatever, so I
gotcha.
couldn't
Yeah.
contact them or anything. So I don't know what happened to anybody.
Oh man. But can you remember at least 4 names of people who died?
Not their real names.
No, like any name. But if you could, because what I want to do is I want to pay tribute to them. I want to honor them because quite often, even going back to our ancestors who were enslaved, they're now lost. Right? No one is able to go back and say, you know what, there was this young man who was 5 years old or 10 or 15 or whatever, who was kidnapped from this part of West Africa and who came on a ship, whatever, and was here and then died at age 33. That person is lost forever. So I like to do is
I
give
don't
me a
know.
name.
I don't
Give me
know.
one name.
I don't know people's names because people didn't, you know, like Shorty, the old man, you know, Rusty, you know,
Right.
these nicknames.
And then again, you don't know if they're still around or not, you know.
Right.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, but I would think that if you're in a foxhole with someone, right?
You would know their real name, not necessarily.
Oh no, you
No.
would know a name. You would know a name.
You gotta go to war, Jamie, and then you're gonna understand.
Okay, but the only thing I'm pressing the issue is that I want to honor at
You can
least
do
3
that.
of those guys. I want
You
to
can
say
still do that.
Ashe,
You can
right?
still
So
do
you
that.
can so call any name, right? Call a name that comes to you for somebody that died, Brother Ngoma.
Like I say, I don't know.
You
Okay.
call some names, Jamie. Call
All
some
right, I'm
names.
gonna call again Sam.
Yeah, there you
Ashe.
go.
All right. Joe, Ashe.
There you go.
Right?
I wouldn't call
Bobby,
him by their name. I
Ashe.
say Rusty. I say,
right.
There you
oh
go.
man.
Rusty Ashe. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna make it work. Because
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's important that we venerate these people. So, but anyway, that was that. All right, we're gonna keep the show moving. I want to thank the fans for joining us on Facebook Live. We've got a really good turnout today. It looks like the fans are enjoying your poetry and your music. Like I mentioned before in the intro, Brother Ngoma plays several instruments. What have you played so far, Brother Ngoma?
So far, I played flute, I played violin, I played
Cigar box
Cigar
guitar.
box.
box guitar.
Let's talk about that flute that you played on the rehearsal. What's it called? The
It's a bamboo.
Australian.
It's a
What's the
bamboo
name?
flute.
Okay.
I'm not on the
Yeah.
mic anymore because I put the mic on the floor so I could play ditch. But
Okay.
it's a bamboo flute. When I was in Baraka's organization, they gave a conference that was out in San Diego, California, and the brother was selling them flutes for like five. I paid like $5 for it,
Yeah.
and I've had it since then. So
It's amazing how many wind instruments came from the flute, the bamboo flute, man. You know,
Absolutely.
it
It's
started
called
the whole
the
thing.
yadaki. The yadaki is a long.
a flute is a flute. A yadaki is this instrument.
Oh, that's what I was talking about, though.
Oh, this I didn't play it yet.
The yadaki.
I
Okay.
didn't play it yet.
Okay, gotcha. All right, no problem.
I am now.
Okay, there you go. The next, so moving right along, the next piece is titled, we've heard Mic Check from Brother Ngoma. We've heard You Ain't Paid Your Dues, which is some blues, all right? You ain't paid your dues to sing my blues, Alfred.
I know.
The next one was This Poem is Free, all right? But you may have paid to watch it or hear it, you know, even though you're not paying now, but at some point in the past or the
I'm paying as much as I possibly can, man. You know.
Yeah. You may pay to see it. All
I'm paying
right.
as much
And
as I
then
can.
so number 40, Brother Ngoma is about to drop, is titled The Statue of Liberty is Pissed.
That's right.
So without any further ado, Brother Ngoma, do your thing.
So this instrument I'm getting ready to play is it's a yadaki. The Aboriginals call it a yadaki. The colonizers who colonized Australia call it a didgeridoo.
There you go. That's what I know it as.
They couldn't call it because they called it out of its name like they call you jigaboo. Yadaki, the Aboriginals say that this instrument sounded the universe into being. It's a healing instrument. If you play it over your chakra points, it opens your chakras. Okay? And so anyway, I'm gonna play a little bit of it. And yeah, we're gonna do that. That's good. And I got a little bit more to go with it as soon as I loop it.
You got it. Powerful.
The Statue of Liberty is pissed. The Statue of Liberty is pissed. She's got "Give me your tires, your poor" carved in stone at her feet. But originally, there were chains around her ankles. they still remain. That's why Trumple Skin Thin has the nerve to say immigrants ruined the country. I guess he cut class when the truth was told that we are not minorities. We are oppressed nationalities. The world is full of oppressed nationalities. War is profitable, so the dispossessed still struggle to own their own tomorrow. Ignorance tried to crucify democracy, but she refuses to die. So we're at the dollar store where everything costs $2, wondering how much this balloon of inflation can stand before it explodes. And I'm thinking about a world without TV. There are so many starving, displaced from their homes by the rocket's red glare, who never knew what Xbox was like. Now the children are quick on the trigger finger, practicing for never-ending war. When their world is demolished, yesterday will never be again. We struggle for existence, pondering what the future might be, since a world war seems inevitable. The news makes Revelation seem like a fairy tale, and everyone is depending on hope. But hope is lost, destroyed in Gaza, as professional victims act like Hitler. The Fourth Reich seemed like a house party, and Armageddon is much more than a Bible story waiting for reality. Maybe Elijah was right.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe
gem.
Elijah was right.
Another cryptic piece, my brother. That was brilliant. Maybe Elijah was right.
Yeah.
Maybe, right? Was he?
Maybe.
Yeah.
What's interesting now is, especially when I read to younger people, is like, do they know who Elijah is? And what
Yeah. You got to go back and explain that, you know.
Yeah, right.
And then when you explain that, you got to explain what he said. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to reach out to the panel, Brother Harold. Any thoughts? How did that poem hit you?
As I listened to it, I was thinking of my late friend and colleague, Ras Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So, I mean, I always like the socially conscious kind of work. And there's a lot in this piece. I like it. But Elijah was right. I would appreciate a little in-depth explanation of that line. That's a very key line. Elijah was right.
Elijah Muhammad said the white man is the devil.
Okay.
Right. and Louis Farrakhan said that as well. Yeah, I remember on the rehearsal. Yeah.
You know what's interesting? The name Elijah has so many connotations, biblical, and I am glad you said Elijah Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
If you hadn't said that, I would have been floating, because there have been so many Elijahs internationally. Yeah. I guess from the North American, African American perspective, it might have been quite easy to think Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
But this is just a note that when we write, we need also to remember we write on an international basis, because I mean, brothers all over the place would listen to you. But thank you for that, Elijah Muhammad.
Absolutely.
I would have been floating up to now.
Yeah. but that's why we have these panels, so the poet can come and break it down. You know, it's a teachable, a learning opportunity for all of us. You know, any other thoughts or insight on that piece, Brother Vinny?
Trumpel still skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So I'm tempted to share a poem with you guys that I wrote that reflects similar sentiments as that piece. But I'll probably email it or something, or you and Pablo can share it
Okay.
going
Yeah.
forward. Those are powerful words, powerful poetry.
That particular at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, sometimes I try to write a poem that represent what's going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
particular poem was the poem that I wrote for the end of the year.
Oh, that one is pretty recent. That's recent.
It has
Yeah.
it's the last thing I wrote.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wonderful.
I wonder if the reference to the change the Statue of Liberty is referencing the fact that the original Statue of Liberty is different from what it is now. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys is
Yeah.
that a reference? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it is, exactly.
Yeah. There's hypocrisy all around, you know. So brother Ngoma, I want to talk about your process, right? And you're a musician, you sing, you write songs, you write poetry, you perform poetry. And listening to you and watching you move around, what are you production wise? What are you doing? Give us a sense as to what are you doing to give us the sound that we are hearing, the sounds that we're hearing.
I build tracks.
Okay.
Put the track on a loop station.
So what device do you have? You have a
loop station. It's called
a loop station. Okay, a loop station, correct.
I usually build the tracks. I use GarageBand or whatnot. I build a track.
Okay.
I play over the track.
Play over the track. Okay. And you're doing that, for example, with the Yadaki, you played it and you were looping it.
Yeah.
Then it continued and you continue to do your poetry over it. That's cool. I like that. All right. So any other thoughts on the Statue of Liberty is pissed? All right. So let's do that. Yeah. Any other final? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I am hung up on the chains on the feet. Could I get a little bit more on the chains? Is it symbolical? Is it
originally, the Statue of Liberty had chains on her feet. Then they changed it. They changed that particular thing before the Senate here. But you know, the Statue of Liberty came from Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it came with chains on its feet?
Yeah.
No. When they were making it, the US asked them to change it.
But when originally when they were making it, it had chains on her feet. But then they made it by the time they sent it to the United States, it didn't have chains.
Okay, gotcha. All right, that clears it up. There you go.
That I did not know, and I'm glad you answered that question.
Remember, part of the show is to edutain. So we educate and we entertain. And Brother Ngoma embraces that whole mission of the show. So thank you for that explanation, my brother. And thanks for the input and questions, panelists. If there are no other questions, we'll go into the book reading. Before we go into that, though,
I have one question for
Go ahead, brother.
for Brother Harold. Brother Harold, do you know my cousin? His name is Aubrey Williams.
Aubrey Williams. The only Aubrey Williams I know, the name.
PhD used to work with the World Bank. Say it again.
The only Aubrey Williams I know of is the brother of the late Dennis Williams, and they were both artists. But Aubrey Williams, any other Aubrey, it doesn't ring any bell.
Yeah, he lives in DC right now, and I think he worked for the World Bank for the longest while. And I thought I heard him mention he either has your work or he mentioned your name. Mentioned your name a few times. So, but that was my question. Go ahead.
No problem.
Brother.
So here we go. Brother Ngoma is our featured guest. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He's a modern day griot, and his book, which is now available on lulu.com as well as on Amazon. He prefers you to go on Lulu, and I shared the lulu.com link on the Facebook live feed. The book is titled, I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. And he's going to do a few readings from this book, 2 readings. But before he does that, my wife took a look at this cover, June, she's on the live, and she really likes it. You know, so tell us about the design. Who did the design for the cover, Brother Ngoma?
Um, the cover came from a picture that my wife is a photographer.
Okay.
She took a picture, and
Ah,
and then I had a guy do a cover from the picture. The guy
from the
who
picture.
painted it, it was a painting.
Okay.
His name is Ayaba Mandingo.
Ayaba Bandingo. So brilliant work, Brother Ayaba Bandingo. And I encourage everyone. This book has got about 160, 70 pages, over 100 poems in it. And it's like I told Brother Ngoma, it's like a history textbook. It's got a lot of history, a lot of culture, a lot of issues that are relevant to his time and our time. All right. The beauty of storytellers and griots like Brother Baba is that they're able to capture their experiences through life and preserve it for posterity so that we can learn and experience and really empathize with the life that they lived. So I want to thank you for taking the time to put this body of work together. And I encourage all of the fans watching the Karna right now to click on the link that I shared in the feed and show Brother Baba Ngoma some love. I didn't come here to tap dance. And he's going to do 2 readings from the book today. The first one is titled Countdown to 65. Give us a background on that poem and then you can go into it, brother.
Okay, Countdown to 65. I wrote a series of poems as I was approaching the age of 65. And so that was Countdown to 65. That was poem 8.
Yes.
It
Poem
didn't
number
have
8.
the other title.
All right. The floor is yours, my brother.
Countdown to 65, poem 8. Oh, let's have a little music.
Why not?
It was at least 90 degrees. Humidity thick enough to cut with a chainsaw when I stepped off the plane in Cameron Bay. I started to look around for the devil because I was damn sure this was hell and we had missed our stop. The air quality was thick with the smell of diesel oil and shit. The terrain was so sandy that there were boardwalk-type sidewalks from building to building. This was home near the beach for about a week. It was just after the Tet Offensive. The 1st Cav and 101st Airborne had just had their asses kicked, fighting hand to hand when the NVA overran the bunker complex. The B-52s had dropped their loads and we were going to check out the damage. Ammo loaded and rucksacked, we packed into helicopters, headed for a mountaintop near Dato called Mile High. Dug bunkers and filled sandbags neath a blazing sun. The Army was the first institution I was a part of that was integrated, but that theory was highly overrated. Blacks socialized with blacks and whites with white. The only time there was unity was in a firefight, but everyone looked the same in the dark of the night. Otherwise, the brothers smoked good Cambodian red ganja while the rednecks drank jack. It was a year or so before GIs got hooked smoking smack. Although we were at war, we still partied hard. In this business, there was a need for mental escape. The stakes were high and there weren't many breaks. We were fighting a war within a war. If you were unpopular, you might get fragged. A rosary might not save you from a body bag. Some decorated their helmets with the sign of the cross. I figured our death might be coming soon. On my helmet was a prayer to Ogun. From then on, I felt protected. No monument to my memory need be erected.
Shay, that's powerful. And as I read that poem, as I read the book, I learned so much from it, you know. And it's beautiful how a poem in a cryptic way can tell so much. And so I want to applaud you for putting that piece together, my brother. Any other thoughts on
Pablo,
yes, go ahead, brother Vinny.
did you have to research what fragging means?
Sorry, what?
Pablo, did you have to research what fragging means?
Well, I've heard the word used before, but
Well, it's a grenade.
we can,
That's
let's
a
ask
grenade.
Brother
It's called
Ngoma.
it's a grenade. It's called a fragmentation grenade. And the short
Yeah.
term for it is a frag. And what happens was a lot of times when people had disputes and whatnot, people were playing fragmentation grenades on them and pull a pin and kill them. So when it's
Yeah.
called fragging. A lot of times, especially officers and whatnot that people didn't like, they would frag them.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Question answered, you know.
Yeah.
So any other thoughts on that first piece from the first reading from I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. This is the book. All right. Brother Ngoma is the author. He's got over 100 poems in here.
So,
And
I have a question, yeah.
yes, go ahead. Mhm.
So I understand this collection of poetry and other stuff is a reflection of your personal journey. Is that correct? But does I
Some
Didn't
of it's
Come Here to Tap
some of
Dance?
it's autobiographical, and some of it's just about stuff that happened during my lifetime. It's not
Oh,
about
okay.
me personally.
Okay. So I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. Is that a reflection of your resentment for performing to please certain elements of the society, or
It's kind of like we kind of use it as a term for like somebody's jiving, they bullshitting, you tap dance.
okay, okay.
Gotcha.
Waste time. You didn't come to waste time.
Or to sugarcoat, to interpret it another way, is that I'm not here just to entertain. You know, I'm here
Right.
to provoke and to shock your sensibilities and to give you the hard facts, the hard, ugly facts as they happened in my life, you know. So yeah, I can dig it. I can dig it. Yeah. Brother Harold, any thoughts on this most recent piece?
Thoughts. To be honest, anything that deals with Vietnam, the American superstructure, you know, the glorification of the American war machine, it always affects me, a third world person, in a strange way. You know, the way the Americans invaded Grenada, the way
Right.
they. I find it hard to come to grips with the American ideal, you know, the great American killer. So I tuned out. I can't relate. Sorry.
Yeah. All right,
But
no
it is what
problem.
it is.
That's honest. That's candor right there. That's what you get on the Karna. So what we'll do is there's a second reading from this book. I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance, and I want to preface this second poem, which is titled "Sister Soldiers."
I did have a quick question for Brother Ngoma, if you don't
Go
mind.
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
So Brother Ngoma, so now today, as you look back, I'm sure you yourself and a lot of others have thoughts about the war, the Vietnam War, and going over there and getting involved in this battle that that you didn't start and that you had nothing to do with, and it probably was the powers, you know, egos and stuff that start that kind of stuff, and so how do you feel? Is this something that you have to forgive your country, or is this something that your country has maybe? How have they sort of rewarded you for going through, for having that experience over there?
How did they reward me?
And yes, I'll use the word reward.
I
Yeah,
don't know if I was rewarded. I came back a PFC after doing a year in the war.
a PFC that's like
Back in first class. I mean, ordinarily you'd be like a sergeant or something like that, but I didn't get no rank.
but knowing how you feel about, and not just yourself. Is there anything that as a vet that you kind of get from the country for putting you through that?
I get veterans benefits.
Right.
Yeah.
Which you still do, but and let's say spiritually and mentally and that kind of thing. I mean,
Spiritually and mentally, interestingly enough, I didn't see that much combat. my company did while I was while I was being
While you were
recorded.
typing, while you were
Typing.
typing.
Yeah, but I just feel fortunate, and because of that fact, I don't feel guilty. I don't have, or anything about that.
Survivor, yeah,
I'm
survivor.
not. A lot of people like are tormented by the fact that they were in a war.
Yeah.
That's why you see so many GIs that are strung out on different drugs and stuff and homeless and all like that. But I wasn't tormented by it.
Got you, got you, got
All
you.
right. All right.
Last
Let's do this. Go ahead, Brother Harold. Yeah.
My brother, how do you feel morally for being involved in a war where the white superstructure were killing the brothers in the third world?
How do I feel about it morally?
Yeah. Being involved in that too.
Excuse my French, but I feel it's very fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell from his lyrics and his poem and his
There you
poem.
go. There you go. That says it all, So thanks for the question, Brother Harold. Thanks for the honest response, Brother Ngoma.
I didn't choose to go to a foreign country to hunt down the locals and kill them.
There you go. Yeah.
Say that somewhere in one of these poems too.
Yeah, that's in there. And
Choice.
I really there's a lot in this book. We need another show for it. So, Brother Ngoma, would you agree to come back on the Karna at a future date
Okay.
to share some more? Okay, there you got it. So let's do this. Let's do the second reading. And before Brother Ngoma, Baba Ngoma shares or narrates or performs Sister Soldiers, that's the title of this piece, I want to say at the end of this poem, Brother Ngoma cites these stats. In today's U.S. Army, 30% of women have been raped, 71% physically assaulted, and 90% sexually harassed. All right. So we've heard little bits and pieces here and there about women coming out and, really going public with their allegations of these types of assaults. So this poem speaks to that. And this poem, I'm assuming, not assuming, I know for sure, Brother Ngoma, talk about your inspiration for writing this piece.
This
Sister
particular
Soldiers.
piece.
Sister
Actually, I
Soldiers.
read an article that talked about the stuff I'm talking about in this poem. And I
Yes.
said, oh, people need to know this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
What was it like when you were there? Were there female? I'm assuming there were female soldiers, not a lot, but certainly.
No, that was before women were in.
Yeah.
Good. So this is all
Correct.
men. Gotcha.
I put a post recently online, and I was asking the question about rape, and you hear about it wherever there's war, and I wonder about what is it. I don't think they preach that or they teach that when you're training you for military that, as a form of torture. But is it something about males in general that when they get into something like war, they feel that there are no more laws regarding assaulting women, and so does it become a part of war, raping women and children?
Can we do this, Brother Ngoma, before you answer? Since we're going to have a lot of time, this is the last piece that we're performing, and we're in the second hour.
That's fine.
But,
that's fine.
Hold
That's fine.
that question, Brother Alfred. So, Brother Ngoma, could you just perform Sister Soldiers, and we'll have a wrap-up session of questions after this, so we can wrap this thing up. Sister Soldiers.
Sister soldiers, mothers, daughters, serving their time on the front line, pledged allegiance to blood-splattered banners, breed more ghosts than previous battles due to economic drafts and lying ads who tell them to be all that they can be. So they sign in blood on the dotted line, blood being the perfect symbol, surrendering to the eagle to be prey like fresh meat to a beast, emerging from their battle buddy. When you realize your only friend is your gun and knife, your male compatriots with whom you stand and fight see you as a hoe, a bitch, or a dyke, 'cause real women ain't supposed to fight. So when you report them, you're accused of lies, and the brass tries to disguise the truth like it's your fault. So you're less afraid of mortar rounds than the fellas you eat with each day, and you stay strapped just to go to the latrine or to pray. They say you're just eye candy, replacing the prostitutes in Vietnam. But you're a machine gunner with 2 Purple Hearts on a second tour in a combat zone, being abused and disrespected a long way from home. Now I'm sure you want to know why this story is being told by a man. The answer is simple, because I care and I can. Postscript. In today's U.S. Army, 30% of women have been raped, 71% physically assaulted, and 90% sexually harassed.
Yes, sir.
Shay, Shay, that's
Yes, sir.
powerful. And it's important that women know that there are men who care, So I want to thank you for writing that piece, as well as indicating that the reason you write is because you care, because quite often on the female side of the equation, the battle is often lonely and hard. So it's great to know that there are men like you, Brother Ngoma, who felt inspired to write about this and share it with our fans today. So thank you for that. We're gonna have a round table set of questions after I share this promo, because I want to make sure that the fans know how to contact Brother Ngoma and how to support him. So let me do this promo page for Brother Ngoma. Again, he just performed 2 pieces from his book, I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance, and those 2 pieces were Countdown to 65 and Sister Soldiers. Again, his name is Ngoma Hill. He's a multi-instrumentalist, poet, author. He's a griot, if you will. And his book is available on lulu.com, the preferred site.
Actually,
Right.
I'm not a griot. Griot is a French term. I'm a jelly.
You're a jelly.
D-L-I. Jelly.
D
D-J-E-L-I.
E-J-E-L-I. Jelly.
Griot is a French term. I'm not French.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks for that correction. Yeah. So the jelly, all right, Brother Ngoma Hill. His book is I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. His email, if you want to book him, he's available to go anywhere in the world as long as you pay the expenses. His email is ngomaz, that's Ngomaz, world, WORLD, @AOL.com. You can contact him there, book him any questions you have or any comments, any feedback on his performances today. You can certainly reach out to him there. All right. Again, the book is I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance, and the author is Jelly Ngoma Hill. There you go. So I got it right there. I just wanted to share that. All right. So the floor is now open for a final round of questions. Alfred.
Yeah, as you know, as I was thinking about it, I think the question, I guess, in a way, is rhetorical. But so I'm looking at war and soldiers taking advantage of women, and I think even away from war, men do that. But I would imagine that there are guys who get involved in that in a war that probably wouldn't do that away from a war type environment, but once you get into that kind of war where anything goes, and you see a group of guys, doing that to women, does it become easier for you to jump in and be a part of it because you're in this war situation, so but it's not really a question. It's just something that I
I can
actually
frame it
posted
into
on.
the question. So does the imminence of death, right, change who you are morally in terms of the choices you make, Brother Ngoma?
And yeah, I guess
The fact
that's a
that
good way.
death is around the corner, or
Or,
you're
or,
willing to
or,
compromise on your character to say, you know what, I normally wouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it because I could die tomorrow or any day.
Yeah.
or not just death, but
Yeah,
knowing that you're in an environment where there's not a lot of laws.
gotcha.
You know.
Yeah, go ahead, Brother Ngoma.
Yeah, I think pretty much. The difference is while I was there weren't that many. The women were mostly nurses and stuff.
Okay.
Right.
But later on, um, women started being in combat, like with Afghanistan. Before then and whatnot, women weren't really
In combat.
in combat. They
Okay.
were mostly nurses.
That's good. I learned something that I didn't know that for sure. But thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Any additional questions, Brother Harold?
For that piece, sister soldiers, I extend to the brother full respects, man. Welcome to the Karna. That was beautiful.
Yep.
What a thing of rape, etc. I think most of us men are just horny bastards. Bottom line.
Yeah.
And especially when we are in a third world country, you know, we feel that our women are expendable. Just rape the hell out of them. We are Americans. We going back home, and we don't have to remember that. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
One of the things-
yeah.
One
Go
of the
ahead. I'm
things people
sorry.
didn't realize that what am I trying to say? When I was in Vietnam, the way they treated women, period, was just off the chain. You know, a lot of women were prostitutes because the economy was so bad. That's the only way they could make a living. And
Right.
men treated them like shit. Excuse my French, but
Yeah.
not well. So
Yeah.
it would be situations like depending upon where you were. Like one of the places where I was, the pimps used to bring the women out to the field.
The Vietnamese pimps.
Motorbikes, on little mini bikes and stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
It goes back to the male. It goes back to the male, right? Males all over the world, as Harold said, are horny bastards. And then you have the ones that are making money off of it. And then plus you're in this quote, and this is the part that I'm keying in on. You're in this war, so to speak, and somewhere in your head, you're thinking that anything goes. I can do whatever I want. You see it in a lot of African wars. You know, they rape the women, they do all these things. You see it. I'm sure it's happening over in Ukraine. It's happening. I'm sure in Palestine and in Gaza. You know, men are just, as Harold say, horny bastards. And when they're in this environment, it's whatever. You know.
Well, it's a complex issue though.
It
Very
is.
complex
It is.
issue. I mean, you have so on the one hand, the uniform and the gun gives you a power trip, right? On the one
Yeah.
hand. On the other hand, personally, I believe that when people come under pressure, you see their true colors. So the idea that I think that the perhaps what happens when these soldiers are under this pressure of imminent death or injury and stuff like that, they really act out who they really are. Not all soldiers across the board are not rapists, and they don't torture people. Not all of them. Just you have a few who are the extreme.
And then the ones that are on the fence, kind
The
of.
ones that are on the fence, right? So and they're just timid. And then you also have where was I going with this? So yeah, I think that then again you have the situation in the war is just an extension of what happens in society in real life.
Yep.
Right.
And then
it's
one
just,
more,
it's
you
more,
forgot.
it's more pronounced now in the war.
Yeah, you left one out there, Vinny. As in the United States, when you have soldiers with power, the guys at the top, when they do these types of things, they don't even get reported. And if a woman goes up there and accuses them, then she's now facing the consequences. So power,
Yeah.
even within the same military, away from war.
Right.
You know?
So
Right.
that's why it's important for writers like ourselves, to especially male writers, to be vocal and to write pieces like Sisters Soldiers, which Brother Ngoma write.
Yeah.
Because women need to know that they're not alone. Because the powerful, generally in most cultures, are men. The power figures are men. And it's just like with racism. If more white people who are in the part of the oppressing class, the oppressor class, would be vocal about against, this atrocity committed by their own people that look like them, I think we would have more success in terms of not eradicating, but at least putting a dent in this whole racial scourge that's really affecting
exposing
the
them.
world, exposing them. But so I want to thank you for that. Go ahead, Brother Billy. You had a point to make.
No. I was going to make another point about where war, this situation in war itself is a function of the strategy, right? To demoralize and terrorize people by raping the women.
Right.
That's a strategy in warfare. It's illegal. It's not illegal. It's legitimate. It's forbidden by the Geneva Convention.
It's a war crime, yeah.
But they still do it because it's terrorize and torture and demoralize people.
Right. Well, the message I want to leave the fans with, especially our female fans who's watching this, is that we respect you equally as we do our fellow men, and it's important that all men, I'm speaking to all men right now, that we respect our woman. We came from a woman. Or I think there's a song that we came from a woman, right, Alfred? I can't think of the lyrics.
Of course. I mean,
and so we must respect them at all times. Whether it is at work, whether it is at home, whether it's your girlfriend or your mother or your sister, we've got to show them respect at all times. And
that requires a massive paradigm shift.
Yes.
And it's got to stop, but it's got to happen. I mean, it's happening, but slowly but
it starts in the home, right? So we have
Absolutely.
sons. We've got to treat our sons. It's important and we have to show the example in the way we treat their moms, right, and their sisters.
Absolutely.
We respect them, and we feel that they are equals,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Even though we are generally physically stronger and can do some things that women can't do, there are other ways where they are stronger than we are.
Yes,
so
and that's why
it has to be a partnership.
Yeah, and that's why you see, Brother Ngoma said, as I was reading his story and his book is "I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance," and one of the things that he is a paradigm shifter, and so you look at a guy like most of us are gonna discuss and talk about it, but he's gonna come out and write a poem and throw it in your face,
Yes.
and bring about the discussion. So that's the paradigm shifting right there that you referred to, Vinny. To come out and call it like it is, and you don't care who vexed with you. I didn't come here to tap dance. I'm here to throw it in your face what the issues are.
Well, accountability is important, right? And as writers, if we stick with the principle of truth, of being truth tellers, I think that comes out.
It's a common thread in all of Brother Ngoma's work that I've listened to, is that he's going to tell you, look at you in your eye, and tell you,
right.
This is what it is, and you don't have to like me.
So let's do this. So, Brother Ngoma, I want to thank you on behalf of the Karna and the Karna crew and our panelists.
Thank you for having
us, for being on the show today. It's been edutaining. All right, you've given the fans a taste of your skill as a musician, a multi-instrumentalist, as a beat poet, right? As a jelly. All right, did I say that right?
Yeah.
So in the West African tradition, back before we had books and pens and pencils, we needed storytellers and jellies to preserve and pass on the histories and tell people about, various threats out there in the world. And they had to be very creative and demonstrative in the way they told us these stories, because it had to be memorable, because there was nothing written down. So we as musicians and storytellers in the 21st century are simply carrying on that tradition. I think it's important that all of our stories be told, all right? And not only one, all right? I just read a TED Talks or heard a TED Talks presentation by an African female writer who said that very often the story told of Africa is one dimensional.
Oh,
It's generally negative.
Chimamande.
Yes,
Chimamande
generally
Ngoma.
negative.
Yeah, I heard that
Absolutely.
talk. I heard that talk.
But there are multiple layers. So there's always, and it happens with us coming from the Caribbean as well, coming to America, and you come into contact with an American, usually typically a white American, and they're surprised that you speak English that well, or that you're a scholar in math, as if, you know, in the Caribbean or in Africa, you know, you guys are climbing trees and you're backwards, you know. So she emphasized the importance for each of us to tell our story so the world can be educated. All right. So I want to thank you, Brother Ngoma, for telling your story through your poetry. And we wish you, is there anything that you're working on, any upcoming events that we should know? What are you doing up there in Harlem, New York?
Well, I host a open mic with poetry and music. Me and few more musicians. We do it like once a month. It's like every third Tuesday at a place called Sisters Uptown Bookstore.
Sisters Uptown Bookstore. What time?
Like 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. And it's the second Tuesday, you said?
Every third Tuesday.
Every third Tuesday. Sisters
Do you guys go
Uptown-
live, Brother Ngoma? Do you guys go live?
It's live.
I mean, when I say like, I mean
Oh,
virtually. Like, could I?
Stream.
Zoom.
Streaming.
You have to come. You have to bring your body.
No, no.
Yeah, I know it's kind of a
Old school,
journey.
man.
It's kind of a journey, but I hear you. I hear you.
So every
That's basically what we're doing. What I'm doing. I
yeah.
just hosted and put together a poetry slam at the Dr. Martin Luther King Family Festival of Environmental and Social Justice at Yale.
Yeah.
We just completed that for Dr. King's birthday.
Nice.
Nice. I saw the photograph on your page. So you can also follow Brother Ngoma on Facebook at Ngoma, Ngoma Hill. And Brother Ngoma, I'm going to wrap things up with this final question. You know, Amiri Baraka is one of my favorite poets, and you had the honor of working with him. Tell the fans what Brother Amiri Baraka was, the late Amiri Baraka. What was he like?
What was he like?
Yeah.
He's quite an intellectual.
Okay.
He's got like hell of a lot of information, and just being around him is a learning experience. Besides that, he's a humorous guy.
Okay.
He's always got something going on.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, you know, he's an ancestor, so we're gonna pour a libation to Brother Amiri Baraka. Ashe. All right.
Don't forget Sam. You know, you got Sam. Well, you did Sam already.
We
Okay.
did Sam already.
Okay.
So we have to venerate our ancestors. I encourage anyone who loves poetry to search for Amiri Baraka. He's got a number of amazing poems, just like Brother Ngoma. I see similarities in your work. So
this is on YouTube. This is
on YouTube, correct?
You can go back later on and see it on YouTube.
Of course.
Okay.
And also on dkarna.org. It's live streaming right now on YouTube,
Right.
on Facebook, as well as on dkarna.org. This
Okay.
website right above my head, dkarna.org. Yeah. So you can go there and check it out. And I'm going to edit this at some point in the future and have an edited video for posterity. All right. So, but let's do this. Let me do some announcements. So, Brother Ngoma, thank you again on behalf of the Karna, on behalf of the fans watching us. Thank you all. Thank you to our panelists, Brother Harold Bascom for being on. Vinny, of course, member of the Karna crew, Brother Alfred. Thank you all. Let me just share these
You're welcome,
announcements.
sir.
And we'll wrap the show up. All right. So on today's Karna promo, the featured events that we have here tonight on the left, January 20th from 7 p.m. The Guyana Cultural Association of New York will be honoring a Guyanese cultural icon, the late Claire Ann Goring, who passed away recently. And there will be a Zoom meeting to celebrate her life starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. And the Zoom link is right here. This is also on my page, so you can go there and get all of this information at Jamie Pablo. So let's celebrate the life of Sister Claire Goring, who's been very instrumental in being a cultural ambassador for Guyana in New York. We thank her for her work, and may her soul rest in peace. Our condolences go out to her family and loved ones. Secondly, to the right, Brother Selector Percy, who is a fan of the show. He may be on the live right now. I wanted to remind everyone that he's got this new series starting today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in which he's celebrating and showcasing Guyanese artists. And today he's celebrating the work of Ras Isan, all right, who's a Guyanese based in Trinidad. Selector Percy is a DJ on Talk of the Town Radio, so be sure to support him at Talk of the Town, Talk AD Town Radio on Facebook. Thirdly, to the right, Pablo Speaks. That's me. I think you know this guy. I've got this new podcast on Spotify and YouTube and Amazon as well. And it's every Sunday at 6 p.m. The next episode, episode 9, airs tomorrow at 6 p.m. It's titled A Dark Street in Newark. And it's urban poetry and commentary related to the drug game. All right. I've got a few friends who got caught up in the drug game and sadly lost their lives. And that inspired me to write about this. So you can listen to A Dark Street in Newark from 6 p.m. tomorrow. And then I'm excited to inform you that next Sunday, that's the 28th of January, I recently had an interview with Guyanese artist and writer Cosmata Lindy, who hails from the Berbice River and lives in New Amsterdam, my hometown. We had a great 1-hour interview. I'm going to edit that down to about 40 minutes, and I will share that as episode 10 on Sunday, January 28th. And finally, Lucky is my most recent EP, which is now streaming on all digital music platforms. The titles include Moon Run, Letitia, Lucky, I'm of Nobody, and Put Your Cape On. So be sure to support Uncle Pablo.
Yes, sir.
Lucky is now streaming, right? Our next show is going to be on the February 3rd, I should say. The Karna is held on the first and third Saturday from 12 noon monthly, and the theme will be friendship. The featured guests, I've got TBA, but I've since spoken with Janet McPherson, who is a Guyanese female poet out of Myconi. She lives in Brooklyn, New York. She's currently at work. I invited her to attend the show today, but she's at work. But she will be sending me her pre-recorded videos of her performances as a spoken word artist. And we're going to have her on show number 46 on Saturday, February 3rd from 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. All right. So having said that, I want to give a sponsor shout out to the sponsors of the show, people who have donated to us. You know yourselves. Thank you so much. If you'd like to make a contribution, you can scan this QR code right here and make a small donation to the Karna. Your generous donation helps support our mission and ensure each featured artist or guest gets a token honorarium in appreciation of their time, craft, and contributions to our Creole culture. All right? And you can make a small donation to any of these various platforms, PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, etc. Thanks in advance for your contribution. All right. Having said that, we're coming to the tail end of the show, and we'll have Brother Alfred Adams give us the musical outro. Brother Al, are you ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. And one last thing for Brother Ngoma. I look at your fashion style and I see that your clothing, sir. Do you design your own stuff, or do you go abroad to buy your clothing, or you have your
I don't design anything, but when I go abroad, I buy stuff, and there's a lot of
Yeah,
stuff you can get. I live in New York City, so
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
good stuff. Good stuff, sir.
Lives
Good
in
stuff.
Harlem. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, for sure. That brother Al.
Can you guys hear this?
Oh
Is
Yeah.
it
yeah.
too loud? Is it too loud?
Turn it down just a tad. There you go. That's good.
Yeah. This is yeah, on the softer side of things. While sitting at the doorstep, oh, knocking at the door, I appearing through a window, oh, sorrowful souls. Hey, 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 hey. So as I sit here before you, I'm so glad you came. So now I'm appearing through those eyes for answers to put this picture to a frame. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, hey, hey. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, hey, hey. We lost our way. Summer night had fallen. Now leaves abound and questions just keep asking. Will when the snow comes, answers be within? Or will I sit before you when the springtime, when it comes again? Woo, 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 woo. When the springtime, when it comes again. Hey. Woo, 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 woo. Hey, hey, hey. Though this bridge we cross is of sorrow, it just could not be, but for all the joys. And just like under, yes, we flow. Life is water, from fears to gladness, from tears to joy. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, yeah, 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 yes. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, hey, hey. Wow, I was sitting at the doorstep, oh, I was knocking at the door, I appearing through the window, whoa, of sorrowful souls. Hey, yes. Hey, hey.
All right.
Hey.
Hey, yay, yay. Thank you, brother, for wrapping up the show. Brother Harold?
Yeah, man, that's good.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
sir. Thank you. Thank you.
That's what Brother Al to the A does. He's our featured resident acoustic musical storyteller.
It's
He
trying my
always
thing, you
wraps
know.
up every show doing his thing. So, Brother Al, thank you. Brother Ngoma, he's still here, but not on video. There he is. Thank you once again for being on the show. Thank you to my panelists and crew members. I know Dion is there. She's not on video, but thank you, Dion, for coming on. Brother Harold, we appreciate your insight today. It's always a pleasure. All right. We look forward to having
Brother
you.
Harold. You sound like
Brother
a Mackenzie man.
Yeah. We look forward to having you as a featured guest, Brother Harold.
Okay.
Can you commit right
Yeah.
now? Okay. All right. We'll talk offline. You're in the Georgia, so we'll get together and have you. I've got some openings in March, I think. We'll get you on to kind of showcase your work. So all right, so it's a wrap. So what I'm going to do now, we've got a featured video, which I usually share. So I want to give a big shout out to our fans who stayed with us for hour number 2. We coming to the tail end of hour number 2, but I want to share this video, a featured video, if I will. Let me get to it. And so that's Brother L. So good, I had to bring it back. Mr. Maggie Harris, video production by Brother Andy Anansi. Now the gospel song. So the featured guest from the last show.
This is not a gospel song, but it could be. Where there is a sunbeam, let me pause. Let me stand in it, lured by the soles of my naked feet. For there was a sunbeam once that poured through an upstairs window of a wooden house of prayers, vibrating in the frequency of bats and calypsos. This is not a travelogue, but it could be. Where there is an airwave, let me glide, let me ride on it, become a swift over ocean floors. For there was an airwave once that dropped me like a consonant in a house by the sea, where the bricks expanded with the growing bones of children. This is not a ululation, but it could be. Where there is a hallelujah, let me pour a libation to the passages of migrants. For there is a praise song now going on behind this door, where the palms and I are dancing in the memory of sunbeams. This is not a gospel song, but it could be.
All right.
Good.
That was Sister Maggie Harris. Go ahead. Someone about to say something? No, okay.
That was good.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
It's
That's-
not a
Andy did
gospel
a nice
song,
job.
but it could. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Andy did a really nice job
great
on that, man.
Yeah. So
The
yeah,
visual.
so that's it's a wrap, fellas and lady, Karna
Right.
fans. We made it through show number 45. Show number 46 is coming up in a few weeks. So I want to wish you all. Yes.
Is the lady still there?
John?
I'm still here. Great show as always. This was a learning experience for me. I couldn't say anything because all I was doing is listening and learning.
Yeah.
You in your corner drinking your water and so on and so forth.
Yes, I was.
For sure. And I know Brother Harold eating his curry there while he
No man, that look like that's a pint tart. That's a pint tart.
Chano.
It's Chana.
Chana.
Okay.
Yeah. You got me hungry, man.
It does look like a Chana chew. A Chana chew.
I got some chow mein out there. I can go and lash now.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna stop the live. We can keep on chatting if you want.